Hello, what is up? This is Matt Kiompor, and we are here with ND Admissions Live. I'm here with my friends. We have Ceci and Ryan. So please, just to start off the night, feel free to ask any questions. We are all involved in a bunch of different things on campus, and we would love to share more about our Notre Dame journey with you. But just to start, we're going to kind of do some intros. My name is Matt. I'm a junior here in the College of Science, majoring in science computing. Kind of a small major, so it's pre-med and computer science with minors in compassionate care and medicine, poverty studies, and European studies. I think it's my fourth or fifth major, so definitely we can talk about that later. It's very easy to change around. On campus, I live in Keenan Hall, senior class treasurer, do some research in medical anthropology, studied abroad in London last semester, and then also got a Nanovic grant to look at healthcare and transportation access in Barcelona last spring break. So that's a little bit about me. And now we're going to pass it off to Ceci.
Thanks, Matt. Hi, everyone. My name is Ceci. I'm a junior studying marketing and film, television, and theater with a concentration in television studies. I'm originally from New Jersey, but I'm proud to call Johnson Family Hall my home here on campus. Outside of studying, which I try and do occasionally, I serve as a digital media intern with Matt and Ryan for admissions. So you might have seen us before on some takeovers on our Instagram and Snapchat. I also just finished up my term as the vice president of my community in Johnson Hall. I currently serve as the unveiling coordinator for the Short Project, which is a fun tradition we have here on campus. Happy to explain more about that if you're interested. I'm the division director of marketing within the Student International Business Council, and I also just got back from a semester in Rome and also received a grant from Nanovic to do an internship at the Cannes Film Festival this past summer. So very cool experience there. Pass it over to Ryan.
Nice. Friends, it's a pleasure to have y'all online today. Well, first things first, my name is Ryan Corey, currently a junior here at Notre Dame, majoring in finance and minoring in real estate, or like Ceci said, at least trying to anyway. Originally from Phoenix, Arizona, but yes, I still did choose to come to South Bend for their lovely winters. And on campus, I'm proud to call Dillon Hall my home, smartest, strongest, humblest. It's okay to be jealous. On campus, involved in a number of different activities, also like Ceci, a digital media intern, and also like Ceci, I just finished my term as vice president for Dillon Hall. In addition to all of those, though, I'm also involved with campus ministry here at Notre Dame, so working with Basilica as an EM, lector, usher, whatever they might need. I work with our broadcasting group on campus called Fighting Irish Media, so working with ESPN and NBC distributors to kind of get all of our athletic broadcasts out and up to the public. And last but not least, probably one of the most fun things to do on campus, I'm actually one of our university mascots as the Leprechaun. So this season I was Leprechaun for football, men's basketball, and currently softball, and a number of other different events that we have going on campus. So very exciting stuff on all three fronts. We're really excited to hear what questions you guys might have for us. And of course, he's got the master computer over there to feed us whatever FAQs you might have.
All right, so I think it would be great if we started off sharing more about our favorite Notre Dame memory.
Wow. That's all you. I don't think quickly on the spot.
On the spot, thank you. I'd say, honestly, a favorite one for me was the first time that my dorm did the Ride of the Valkyries. So here at Johnson Family Hall, our mascot is the Valkyries. So it's our oldest tradition, and we were formed in 2020, so it's a proud 3 years old. But it's one of our favorite traditions, and that is on the first home game day of the season. We go around the dorm, blasting music, knocking on the doors of those who'd like to participate bright and early around 6 in the morning, so you get a strong start to a game day. But then we go running around campus, cheering with your fellow Valks, having some fun, and then it ends with a run through the reflection pool, which is always a good way to get in the spirit and enjoy the good game day ahead.
And you know, I probably have to say mine is also related to football. I promise there's more than football here at Notre Dame, but favorite memory was actually this past season. And a lot of people think like, oh, Clemson rushing the field. Of course, that was awesome. Well, my favorite game was actually Boston College. It was the season closer. It was a snow game. The whole second half completely covered. It was really, really fun. A lot of people were standing there freezing and they're like, are you cold? I'm like, no, I'm running around the stadium. You know, I'm jumping into beds of flowers. And I was having a field day out there, especially coming from Arizona. We don't have experiences like that all that often. So definitely very fun. I felt like golden retriever is the best way I can put it.
Yeah, no, I love it. I have so many great memories associated with football as well. I think Notre Dame is really special in the fact that you can really get the whole experience, and that includes, wonderful memories associated with pretty big sports and really good sports. But I think for me, the first thing that came to my head was studying abroad in London last semester. There was a few hundred of us juniors. I'd say almost 80% of juniors go abroad here at Notre Dame. It's very easy. Notre Dame makes sure that classes count and that you have the support you need when you go abroad. And so really specifically at a few locations, I know Rome was a global gateway, and I was in London, which is also a global gateway. We're there with all our Notre Dame peers, with Notre Dame classes and Notre Dame dorms. And so the first night we all got there, we had all kind of been looking forward to it. We had spent a summer apart. And so now meeting up in London, the first night we all decided to go out and see what London had to offer. And so I think we packed a restaurant full of 200 Notre Dame kids. And it was just so wholesome and fun to be in a new environment and to be abroad, but then also having the support of my friends there. It was just kind of a unreal moment of, wow, this is so great. I'm so lucky to go to Notre Dame and how they're able to kind of create opportunities like that. So that just kind of sent chills down my spine and was the first, really wonderful start to me studying abroad. But we have another question here, and it is about residential life. So was it difficult to be roomed with someone you didn't know?
I would say not at all. I got lucky, and I think most students at Notre Dame do, in that I got my random roommate, and she was incredible. Really loved getting to live with her. She was from the suburb of Chicago, like a lot of students here are, but it was really fun, getting to meet someone brand new, and it was just kind of that first friend at Notre Dame, and particularly with the way Notre Dame sets up freshman year. As a freshman, you move out a few days before everyone else, so you get that opportunity to get to know your roommate, to get to know the other people in your hall, those other freshmen, and kind of explore it together. And then when you start, have your random roommate to go into the Notre Dame experience with. She's still one of my best friends. She's currently abroad right now, miss her, but super excited to be living with her next year. So it works out. And I also kind of liked it because you don't have to go on Facebook and try and find a random person, which I've heard horror stories with that. So it takes a little bit of the stress out of that.
No, exactly. And I'd say one thing about Notre Dame is just like the students that end up coming here, they're very agreeable people in general, right? Like you're never gonna, very rarely will you be in a horror story scenario with a freshman year roommate. My roommate, frankly, freshman year, we were not very similar. Like he was in band. I know nothing about playing instruments. He was like a computer science major. I am a finance major. Definitely opposite ends of the spectrum, but end of the day, we got along. We're very agreeable people, We ended up rooming in one of the smallest doubles in Dillon, but we had a good time doing it. And I think that's kind of the Notre Dame experience right there. You get to learn with different personalities, and you get to really grow. That's why it exists as random roommates too.
Yeah, no, I agree. I had a wonderful experience my first year. We actually roomed together our sophomore year, and then we're in London together our third year. And he is from the Philippines, and so really being able to learn so much more about where he's from, and then it really worked out great. And especially with how residence halls are set up, you have the support of your rector that's wanting to make sure that you have a good relationship with your roommate. You have the support of Notre Dame residential life. And it was really best case scenario and very easy. I didn't have to worry about picking the right person on Facebook or I definitely recommended it, and most people would think it would be very stressful, but I think it was actually the opposite because it's kind of out of your control, and 9 times out of 10 it definitely works for the best. So we just got a question here about paying for study abroad. So I know, and correct me if I'm wrong, right? Your financial aid that Notre Dame gives you, Notre Dame is need blind, will apply over to your study abroad program.
Yes, that is for the semesters. I'm not sure how it works for the summers. So if you're looking to go abroad, we have programs in the semester. So you can go your full fall or your full spring. Or if you don't maybe want to give up a full semester on campus, you can go for shorter programs in the summer. I'm not sure financial aid goes towards those summer programs, but if you're looking to go for a semester, financial aid will transfer over to make sure you're able to go. And I know for some of the summer programs, they do offer scholarships that you can apply for to help cover some of those costs.
Yeah, I agree. And programs like the Summer Language Abroad through the Language Center here, and then I know Nanovic sponsors study abroad. So definitely a bunch of places to get funding for studying abroad in the summer, in addition to your financial aid rolling over to when you're abroad as well. So really best case scenario. But kind of a fun question here. What is the food like in the dining halls?
You got it.
I'm a fan of it. There are definitely some days where they kind of stick to a little bit of the staple menu, which sometimes is good. Sometimes you may be craving something outlandish, but you can kind of get that on those days a little bit crafty in how you're gonna make your dining hall work. Today is my favorite lunch day, and that's boom boom chicken salad. It is so good. So the debate here is on Tuesdays we have boom boom chicken salad, and on Thursdays we have Southwest chicken salad. So you'll find people tend to have some favorites. Boom boom is by far superior, but the dining halls, you have some fun with it. You get to get a little crafty with your food, but it's good food overall. And I just like going for the convenience. You can go grab your food, be with your friends, and then continue on with your ride.
Yeah, and the dining halls, I'd say, well, also there's an ongoing debate of which dining hall is better, North Dining Hall or South Dining Hall. Now, the TLDR on this, both serve the exact same food. Like, it's just the fact of the matter. I mean, in the day, South is better, but they serve the same food. And each dining hall is about 7 different stations that you can kind of choose from. I will say, like, as a junior now, I am, like, so much more confident in just, like, mixing and matching between stations, right? Like, I used to just kind of hop in a line, go for whatever's going there. No. Now I'm, like, making, like, buffalo chicken salads across, like, 4 different lines. It's how you got to play at the dining hall. So, anyway, it's very good food. They usually do have a lot of different alternatives, but you got some fun in it, too. The Notre Dame dining experience is very, very good, so.
No, I agree. And then, yeah, you're there for the food. You get the food you need. It's convenient. But I think something unique about Notre Dame, too, is the dining hall culture is very much you set aside an hour in the evening to go dine with your friends, and, you're talking about people, and they're walking by, it's such a small campus. But
First and last name.
But it's just very much a time of the day where we all come from all over campus, set our bag down, get in the line. And so very much recommend it. Yeah. Okay, then another question here. Was it easy to switch majors or schools within the university? And have y'all switched at all, or?
I have not, which I'm personally surprised by. I'm not a very decisive person. But part of that came from, I actually did a program before coming to Notre Dame as a high school student. I thought I wanted to do marketing in high school, but I didn't actually know what marketing was. So I saw that Notre Dame Pre-College offered a marketing class. So I was able to take kind of a class beforehand, saw what marketing was like, ooh, the professors here in marketing are really cool. They seem really passionate about what they're teaching. And this one was specifically geared toward marketing for nonprofits, which I don't think a lot of business schools cover. So that was a really cool experience to be a part of. And I was able to pick my majors kind of going in marketing and film, television, and theater, and I've stuck with them.
Wow, you did pre-college marketing as well.
Oh, yeah.
That makes 2 of us. 16 wow, I didn't even know this. So I also did the pre-college program. I did marketing going in, loved marketing, came in here as a marketing major, and then ended up doing a summer internship that was in marketing, and the only questions I could ask is like, okay, why are we making this decision? Why are we doing that? So I ended up pivoting to finance after my freshman year, and I would say it actually was pretty easy, especially that early on, because a lot of the time you're taking like just general Mendoza College of Business classes or university classes. So if you're changing in your first couple of years, you really should have no problem, especially if you're within your college. I don't know about like changing 4 or 5 times. I think Matt can speak more to that. But
Yeah. So definitely very indecisive. Just applying to schools for undergrad, I think I applied to over 25. Can't make up my mind of the school. Can't make up my mind of what major I want. Can't make up my mind. Absolutely not. So it's great that Notre Dame, your dorm is chosen, your roommate's chosen. Everything's chosen except your majors, and that's where I really kind of ran into a problem. Came in political science and pre-health. Not a bad start. Still kind of wanted to see what was out there. Switched up some things. Dropped econ, picked up sociology, dropped sociology. Said, okay, let's make the switch to something more sciencey, but not in the College of Science. So Arts and Letters, College of Arts and Letters offers a neuroscience. So definitely would check that out if you're kind of interested in the science, but it is housed in Arts and Letters. And I said, you know what, this is not for me. I made the switch to College of Science, and then with neuroscience, and then now I'm science computing. So we've made kind of a roundabout thing, started off in Arts and Letters, main majors in College of Science, with classes in College of Engineering, And then I'm doing consulting this summer, which is kind of businessy. So I'm just missing architecture, I think.
We can squeeze it in.
Yeah, we can squeeze it in. So very easy to switch around, clearly. I had a really fun time doing it. But the advisors are so accessible. So I mean, honestly, I was able to hop into a Zoom call pretty much day of, or even my advisor now, who does her own research and teaches her own classes, is an astrophysicist. I just hop in her Zoom call the day of, and I'm able to get my questions answered. And then when you come into Notre Dame, you come in through the College of First Year of Studies. So while you have intended majors and colleges, you really are kind of on an equal playing field in the College of First Year of Studies, where my advisor was so great in kind of setting me up in a way to where I still had a bunch of options available. So long story short, very easy to change around. I have a friend who's junior engineering now, actually meeting with his advisor to switch his major. I think it can be done. So I think one thing that's special about Notre Dame too is most people will end up with at least one minor or two minors, or I have 3 minors, or 2 majors, or you have supplementary majors. And so definitely how easy it is to get an interdisciplinary education, I think, is very unique and is really kind of pushed as well. So yeah. All right, we have another question here. What is the process for joining clubs on campus?
Yeah, so that kind of comes in with our club fair. We have over, 450 clubs and organizations on campus. So there's a very high chance there'll be something you'll want to do. So in the fall, there's the club fair in the stadium concourse of our football stadium. We're able to just go to all the different tables set up by each of the clubs, get to talk with some of the members, see what they're doing, and sign up for their email list. I think I probably signed up for about 20 different email lists my freshman year. I did not join 20 clubs, but I was able to kind of go to those introductory meetings, see what they were all about, and from there kind of narrow it down to what I really wanted to do.
Yeah, and club fair can be a dangerous experience. I'm not implanting bad ideas. I'm just saying I may have signed my roommate up for 20 different clubs as well. But anyway, I think actually the way I found most of the clubs I was involved in was actually just meeting different guys in my hall or different people I knew across campus, and word of mouth, kind of just learning from that. I'm like, sure, I signed up for these clubs. I can hear what they're about, but I want to get involved in some activities. I wanted to get involved with admissions right off the bat. Even Leprechaun, I just knew somebody who was on the team, and I said, hey, should I just mess around and try out to be a Leprechaun? And they're like, yeah, do it. That's it. It's just a win like that. You can try whatever you want on campus, and really, if you know somebody who's in something, go talk to them about it. That's a Notre Dame experience right there.
Yeah, no, I agree. Very easy. And then, in particular, I'd like to highlight one club I'm in, Community Alliance to Serve Hispanics, or CASH. We go out once a week to La Casa de Amistad, which is a community-based organization here in South Bend. So where we help in teaching English classes or citizenship classes. So that I actually got introduced to through a CBL part of one of my classes. So Notre Dame offers classes with a community-based learning component across all the different colleges. So from neuroscience, and mine was actually through Latino studies, where we were actually, as part of the class, went out to the Casa de Amistad and got to help out with the club on campus, CASH. And so I'm still involved in that, and definitely love the community there, and it's been a great experience to kind of meet other people in South Bend who also call South Bend home. And so very easy to get involved in clubs. All righty. We have another question here. With the May 1st deadline coming up very soon, very exciting, the question is, why did you choose Notre Dame?
Jumping into it, man. This is soon. It's our closer. Okay.
So for me, I'll be upfront and say I did not want to come to Notre Dame for a good portion of my high school experience. It wasn't until actually that I did that high school program that I mentioned that I got to experience really what Notre Dame was. But prior to that, I thought it was just a football school with a top 20 education. And I was like, well, I can get a great education at 19 other schools. So why would I bother going to school with football when I didn't really like football? That has changed a lot since coming here. But I was able to do that program, and I saw all that Notre Dame had to offer outside of football, and that is truly what made me want to come here. And it was a quick switch around for me, but it really did come down to the people. These are people who are out achieving the top of their fields. Are professors. I think 90% of them are at the highest level of education they can be in their fields of studies. The students here, like Ryan highlighted, they're really agreeable and they're also incredibly humble. Notre Dame attracts people who want to go out and be forces for good in the world, but also encourage you and help you, support you in your goals to go out there and do well. So, and I've come now, being at Notre Dame, I've seen that has echoed throughout my 3 years here. So it's definitely been a good decision to come.
I'm supposed to follow that. That's just that's not fair. So one thing for me, I actually did kind of always want to come to Notre Dame. Both my parents went here, raised bleeding gold and blue, watching Notre Dame football on Saturdays growing up. But I think that was just how I came to know Notre Dame. The actual reason I chose it, there's more back behind that. You don't just choose somewhere because your family went there. And the way I like to phrase it is it kind of comes down to 5 components, right? We're top 10 in a number of different aspects. I mean, one, if you look at academics, we're a top 20 school across the country. We have fantastic professors. We have absolutely amazing classes. You're going to get a fantastic education here. And like we were talking about just before we got on this live, our number one job is to be a student. No matter how much we don't want to go to class or do our homework, you got to do it. And that's the biggest thing here at Notre Dame. And all the students understand that. 2 is just religion. I went to an all-male Catholic Jesuit high school. I grew up Roman Catholic, and I want to continue pursuing that here at Notre Dame. It's obviously a great place to do that. 3, tradition. Notre Dame, it's an old enough school where you have a lot of traditions. And it's a small enough school where all the students know the traditions, but a large enough school where you meet new people every week. An example of this, when a cup drops in South Dining Hall, everybody claps. When you see a bike that's unlocked, you don't steal the bike. What do you do with it?
Put it in the tree.
There it is, exactly. So all the students, we have these unspoken rules that everybody kind of knows about. You don't walk up or down the steps, you don't step on the grass on the quad, et cetera, et cetera. 4th, athletics. You touched on this earlier. We have just fantastic athletic teams across the board. And people go to those games. We had a number 1 ranked lacrosse team a couple weeks ago. We packed the stadium. We had students outside the stadium cheering in. And it just makes those experiences all the better. And I can't speak more to the people than what Ceci already said. But that's kind of number 5 is just this idea of collaboration, not competition here at Notre Dame. So, sure, you might look at a list and see this other school is higher academically, or this school has better athletics. But across the board, if you want a school that is balanced all the way around, that's why you come to Notre Dame. The famous quote I like to drop is you don't go to Notre Dame to learn something, you go to Notre Dame to be somebody. And that's what we're all about. So
those were such good answers. I'm very impressed. Very similar, sentiments I share with Ceci and Ryan here. I went to a very big Texas public school. Notre Dame was really not on my radar until pretty late into the process. So beginning of my senior year, convinced my mom last minute, let's book a flight. We came up in October. It had been on the back of my mind that I was going to apply, but really coming to see campus, hearing all about it, and seeing it was really the decision for me to say, you know what, we have to apply early, talk to so many people, and just continue to learn more about Notre Dame until that May 1st deadline, and absolutely just fell in love. I think just exactly what Ryan said, it really offers the best aspects of everything across the board. Really attracting a very passionate student body. I think you can see that with just how involved Notre Dame kids are. We're all very different. At the same time, we're all very similar in the fact that we do want to do good for the world. We like to kind of stay busy, keep involved, get involved in the community. And so it's been a wonderful decision. And I've definitely learned way more about myself as a friend, as a person, since coming to Notre Dame. And so definitely best decision I've made. We have another question here. And we've been speaking a lot about Notre Dame right here, this little campus we're on. But what is your favorite kind of place or thing to do out in South Bend?
I am a big fan of a good breakfast. If it's a weekday, you won't catch me eating breakfast. But if it's a weekend and we're going out maybe for breakfast, I am there. So I'm a big fan of going to some of the local restaurants around South Bend, grabbing a cute little cup of coffee, cute little breakfast. Yellow Cat Cafe, Pegs,
Yes.
2 staples here in South Bend. But there's surprisingly a good amount to do here. I will be the first to admit I was a little hesitant. I'm from a few minutes outside of New York City, about 30 minutes, so I'm used to having access to, a lot to do. And here, we're still pretty close to Chicago, but a little bit further away. Hesitant to come to, a little bit more of the rural Midwest from where I am, and I'd say that it's happily been surprising to see how much there is to do here. And it also keeps the campus contained, which is something I really wanted. I wanted to go to college, not to a city, and definitely you get, the fun aspects of city if you would like, but if you come here, you're still in that Notre Dame community, even in the larger South Bend area.
Yeah, and I hope I'm not stealing your answer, because I have a feeling we were going to say something similar here. Matt and I were both here last summer, and when I first found out I was going to be here for South Bend summer, I was like, oh gosh, there's nothing to do in South Bend. Oh, how wrong we were. We ended up at a fake wedding, actually, but anyway, point is, there's so much to do here in South Bend, and you don't realize it until you're here and you have time to explore the city. And like Ceci said, you want to go to college. Like, there's so much to do on Notre Dame's campus. Sometimes you get trapped in that zone. But out in the South Bend community, there's a lot. One of my favorite things, first off, that I did over summer, axe throwing. I had never heard of axe throwing, but yes, this is a thing. You can do it. You get points. They have a whole target system. It was so much fun. And then the second one, I just love mentioning, there's a low-key pizza rivalry in town. You have Bruno's Pizza and Rocco's Pizza. And I think either Bruno trained Rocco or Rocco trained Bruno, one of the two. But anyway, they're the two biggest pizza places in South Bend. Students go there all the time off campus, and it's just one of those places, too. It's it's got that old Italian feel to it, so you get the authentic experience going out in the community. But so much to do in South Bend, and the South Bend summer, man, what I give it really.
We had a really good time. We were able to go to the dunes in Lake Michigan, which isn't too far away. We're very close to Elkhart and Goshen, which also kind of offer their own amenities. And then South Bend, I just think is very quaint. It's very much grown on me. You can definitely tell it is a city with a history, and in kind of the Rust Belt and how it's kind of bouncing back. And it's really cool to kind of go out into South Bend from Notre Dame, and having people from South Bend come visit Notre Dame. So it's very symbiotic relationship, and I really enjoy it. I really do.
It grows on you. You're right. It definitely grows, because you start and you're like, oh, it's such a small city. No. By the time you're leaving here, you're at least juniors like us, man. It's right at the heart.
Yeah, and some of the major roads. I kind of
I
can get around without my GPS now.
Yeah.
I am a local. So, all righty. So another question here. What is your favorite dorm signature event? And so to preface, right, so we have these residence halls all across campus, single sex, randomly assigned. And so really they have their own traditions and culture. And so a lot of times for each dorm, they have their own big events they put on at least once a year, once a semester. And so some are quite popular on campus. And I'll save my best answer for last, but I will like to see what they have to say.
I will preface by saying Matt's is
Yes,
probably
it
one
is.
of my favorites. But I'll use this as an excuse to plug our new signature events in Johnson. This is the second year they'll have happened, so really building traditions, which has been a lot of fun. But my favorite one that Johnson does is Empower, which we just had about a week ago, and it is a self-defense class, which it's really fun to hit things when you have the opportunity to hit things safely. But it's also just a lot of fun. We welcome students from all over the campus, tri-campus community to come. We brought in professional instructors this year. They were huge, bulky, scary men, but they were teaching us how to be safe from huge, bulky, scary men, which was really fun and just an empowering experience to be with other members of the community, get to have some fun, and also learn how to be safe. Thankfully, these are moves I've never had to use here in South Bend or on campus, but it's always just a fun experience to know you're feeling strong.
All right, I'll be the one to not choose my own Hall's event, even though Dillon Hall Rivalry Week with alumni is by far one of the best weeks on
Can
campus.
you refresh me what is that exactly?
Oh, so Dillon and alumni, here's the wrap on this. Dillon and alumni are two halls on campus. They're right next to each other on South Quad, both built in 1931, both men's halls, both the exact same structure, near the same capacity. It's just one is obviously the best hall on campus, and one is the worst hall on campus. We're known to have the oldest rivalry, so we have a whole week of events to decide which hall is the better between the two. Dillon has not won in 9 years, but we're still better at heart. But the one I want to highlight was actually just down the quad a little bit Fisher Hall. They have an event that's actually coming up in a couple weeks called the Fisher Regatta, where any student group on campus or any dorm on campus can build a boat. I believe the boat has to be able to hold 8 people, and it cannot have a motor. And essentially, the whole point is to get your boat across St. Mary's Lake, 1, the quickest you can, but 2, most importantly, without drowning in the water, which, by the way, in April is still rather cold from the Southland winter. So very fun event, though. Fun fact, I think, so my parents actually met at Notre Dame. I think my dad proposed to my mom during the Fisher Regatta. So a little bit close to the heart on that one, but definitely an entertaining experience to see students trying to flounder their way across St. Mary's Lake.
I can say if you're planning on doing it, Johnson's boat last year was made out of cardboard, which is not a good material to make a boat out of. They sunk in the deepest part of the lake. So tips for all prospective students, don't make your boat out of cardboard. Yeah.
Okay. Very interesting answers to it, or attempts to answer the question. The best signature event on campus, let me tell you, Keenan Review. It's a signature event, but I argue it's now a Notre Dame-wide tri-campus community, Michiana, South Bend, Northern Indiana place to be. It is our Keenan Hall kind of skit show we put on. So I think about 90% of the dorm is involved, from greeting people at the front to being ushers for the crowd to dancing, singing. We have, I'm on the violin there. I've danced my freshman year. We have beatboxers, and we just have a really wonderful time, and we sell out each night with over 6,000 in attendance. So definitely most of the Notre Dame undergrad population is there. And so we just truly have the best time. And it is a whole year ordeal. So I think it starts at the beginning of the year and it kind of finishes out in February. So definitely recommend giving it a watch.
It is the best.
It is really
we have to be honest. Actually, we're both vice presidents, and there's a process by which they evaluate Hall of the Year and what events each hall does and whatever. They had to take the Keenan Review out because they had so many people attending it. So definitely, we'll give him the title on this one, I guess.
So my next question is, what is your favorite place on campus to study, and then what is your favorite place on campus where you like to eat, or is it like the Chick-fil-A or the
Okay, I'm gonna say study. I'm a first floor of Hess kind of girl. It's 5 minutes away from Johnson, which not many things are 5 minutes away from Johnson, which is always fun to be close by. But I'm not someone who likes to study in complete science. And in Hesburgh Library, or Hess as we call it, as you go up the floors, it gets quieter. I've heard some of my friends love the 8th floor because they love the dead silence. I do not. So I like staying on my first floor where I can still quiet enough to get my homework done. But if I want to take a little study break, which I might take a few too many of those, I can talk to my friends without being too annoying to anyone else around me. Food-wise, garbanzo is my favorite. Garbanzo, I like to call it like a Chipotle, but like the Mediterranean Greek version. So you can get like pita pockets, rice bowls with gyro or chicken, however you want to get it. But it's really yummy, and you feel healthy eating it because there are vegetables, which is always nice.
Okay, so study-wise, this is kind of an interesting take because it's a little secluded. I like going up to the 7th floor of Corbett Family Hall. Now the thing is, sometimes it's kind of locked down for like special events, but sometimes they have classes up there, and the whole perk of this floor.
This is such a leprechaun answer.
It kind of is. I'm sorry. But you're overlooking Notre Dame Stadium, and you can look out towards the dome and the basilica, or if you're looking the other way, you can just, like, if you're there early in the morning, you can see the sunset coming up over the athletic facilities. Anyway, you just get this great view of campus. I cannot speak to it enough. And favorite food place on campus, I'm going to have to go Modern Market. Best pizza on campus. And low-key, like, they have these really, like, kind of a unique pizza I haven't heard of before. It's like bacon corn sort of thing. So it goes crazy. It's pretty good stuff.
It is good. For me, I like to change up where I study. Y'all definitely romanticize y'all's favorite location. I think my ideal location, I want a dilapidated desk in the mechanical laboratory section of the engineering building, lights flickering. I'm alone in the corner. So I have a few places in mind that I won't share, but Galvin Hall has some spots like that.
Basement of Hager, maybe.
Yes, or the Hayes Healy basement. I just need to be completely isolated. Then to eat, I second garbanzo. Truly is my favorite. I like it. There's falafel. I get the rice bowl, which is a better deal than the rice plate. Same thing, but just bigger, larger serving dish. So yeah, that's what I have. Okay, so do we have any tips for incoming first years?
Don't be nervous. I know that's a lot easier said than done, but I think a big thing for me was like, I was worried about what I was going to know, especially kind of coming from out of the Midwest. I didn't know how many people were going to be here, coming from schools with other people they knew. I just didn't know where I was going to fit into all of this. And then I got here and I realized, well, people here are from all over the country and all over the world. And there are some people who will know 20 people coming in, and there will also be some people who know no one coming in. So just being like a little easier said than done, like I said, but being relaxed and being like open to getting to new people. Everyone else is in the same position. So just going out there, being friendly and open-minded, you'll find that everyone else is excited to get to know you too. So just being open and ready to have some fun. It's a good time.
I was trying to think of a graceful thing to say, but I'm just gonna go with the nitty-gritty facts, man. Don't be afraid of showering, okay? There are community showers, okay? You don't get one for your room. It's like half the floor is kind of in your shower section. I was so nervous for this. I'm like, oh my God, I gotta walk down on a towel. No, it's fine. You'll get used to it in a week. Bring shower shoes, bring a shower caddy. Heck, the moment when I realized oh, I don't have anything to be worried about, it was like day 3, I'm going to the shower. And some senior just walks in, he's blasting music in the shower. I'm like, what's going on here? So do not worry about that type of stuff. The other thing I'll note, bring a box fan. You're gonna want a box fan in the early fall months. So anyway, the biggest point though is be confident. Don't be worried. You're in college. Frankly, once you get to college, you realize nobody cares. You're just gonna be yourself, and nobody's gonna make fun of you for it, especially not here at Notre Dame. So definitely come with that sense of confidence, and bring a box fan.
Yeah, I agree. Or two.
Two helps.
Yeah. For me, I'd say really go into your first year and kind of be ready to overcommit yourself. See what's available. Sign up for all the clubs.
Yeah.
See all the departments.
Sign your roommate up for all the clubs.
Yeah. And so my first year, that is actually how I was introduced to the Nanovic Institute. They were giving out ice cream during welcome weekend, and so one thing led to another. Next thing you know, I'm going to study healthcare access in Barcelona through Nanovic. And so definitely take advantage of everything you can. And even if you decide to drop things, after your semester at the end of freshman year, just really seeing all that Notre Dame has to offer, kind of exposing yourself to that and taking advantage of that. That would be my biggest tip. Okay, so another question here. What is an event on campus or something you have planned that you're looking forward to between now and the end of the school year?
This one I'm very excited about. So I kind of mentioned it in my intro, I'm involved in the shirt project, which for those who may not be familiar with it, we're in our 34th year, I believe, this year, and it's a group of students come together and design a t-shirt that is worn by the entirety of the Notre Dame fan base, particularly on the first home game of the season, but kind of throughout the football season, just to unite the community together. But beyond it being a really cool t-shirt, it also does some good for the Notre Dame community. Proceeds from the shirt go to funding the student organizations that we have here on campus, as well as to the Shirt Project Fund, which is a charity we set up to go to any unexpected medical funds that a student may need during their time here on campus. And it's the single most sold piece of collegiate apparel in the country. We sell over 150,000 units a year, so it's a big deal. Have a lot of fun with it. But kind of how that ties into an event, on April 21st, we'll be having our unveiling, which is when we invite student groups from across campus to come perform. We'll bring an MC to be announced. It's in the works. But it's just a fun little event to go get everyone hyped, and then we'll unveil this year's shirt design. So really looking forward to that.
It's ironic. I think our events are actually on the same day, but slightly different. And this, I'm just going to be honest, this is a totally shameless plug right here. We have leprechaun and cheer tryouts coming up at the end of the year. And those actually occur partly during the blue gold game, which is our spring football game. It happens the day after the shirt unveiling. So very excited for that weekend. There's also just a lot of different student events that are always going on during Blue Gold games. So a lot of fun to like see the campus active again. But with respect to Leprechaun and cheer tryouts, we're always looking for people to join the team. One of my favorite things to say is, especially for cheer, it's like, oh, if you play the sport in high school, but like you can't keep continuing that sport in college, but you want to do something athletic, come join cheer. You can be a D1 athlete or be a mascot. Heck, you put on a green suit, you can do whatever you want. So it's a lot of fun though, and those will be coming up, and just so much fun to see like who's going to be on the team next year, you know? So really excited for that, the return of football to Notre Dame.
I love it. I'm excited, especially Ceci and I you were abroad fall, right?
Yes.
Okay, we were abroad in the fall, so we didn't miss out on junior year football season, but very excited for senior year. And I think for me, one thing I'm looking forward to, not that exciting of an answer on paper, but I work in a research lab here on campus, the Culture of Medicine lab. It's an anthropology lab. And so it's me and just a few other undergrads looking at obstetric violence here in South Bend or urban reproduction. And so that's through the Department of Anthropology. And so in our spring semester, we work with our professor on developing our own projects and our own research. And so we're presenting that this at the end of the semester. So I'm very excited to kind of get all that together and present with my group kind of what we've been working on, researching, that we've been working on all semester. So very excited about that. We have another question here. And Ryan and I think this applies for us, but I feel like New Jersey's a little, it could have.
Yes.
So the question is, do we have any tips for cold weather?
Oh, man.
I'll let them take it. My one word of advice: invest in a good jacket.
That's a great piece of advice there. I will admit, like at least in Phoenix, the way, I don't know if it was the same in Texas, like you grow up and you're kind of like, all right, you're getting into winter. It's like how few layers can we wear and still be like manly enough to brave the cold? No, South Bend, you gotta layer up, man. And that's kind of the key, you know? You can really beat the cold however you need to, as long as you just put on enough layers. And the one thing I will say, I was very worried about ice and walking, but I think I may have worn boots once this semester. Notre Dame does a great job of like salting the sidewalks and like making sure it's very walkable on their campus. So very easy on that front. The other thing is like, just have fun with the snow, man. I mentioned during Boston College game, I was like a little golden retriever. People look at you like you're crazy, but if you just see snow, man, come like a snowball and throw it at somebody. That's my thought. Turn what other people see as a very dull, boring thing that's a hindrance to their day into a joy. That's what we bring to campus.
I agree. No, I agree. I think layering is important.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, like I have an undershirt. You know, if I can put under something, definitely would recommend that. Thick socks are sometimes nice. You're peeking at a little cold.
Gloves.
Gloves. But really, the classroom buildings and everything are all heated.
It is funny, the exodus of like you're wearing all these layers going into the classroom, and then people like take 3 layers off to go to class and put them back on. But
so yeah, definitely a good jacket. And I know, I believe the Office for Student Enrichment here on campus, for low-income students, they buy jackets and winter gear, laptops and technology. So definitely a good resource on campus. Now we're gonna kind of pivot here to what is the best Notre Dame tradition?
I'll do another plug for the shirt. I think it's a fun one. But my personal favorite has really been the touchdown push-ups. Having gone from not being a football fan to now a self-proclaimed #1 fan, I still know nothing about football. I try to, but I'm learning slowly. But I really do love the push-ups. This does not require really upper body strength for those who may be listening and aren't familiar. But it's when you lift up a student, one of your friends, and having to push-ups like that for each point that we score in a game. You want to be strategic about it because, in some of the higher scoring games, you're getting up to 49 points. Lifting up maybe one of your 6'3" guy friends for 49 points is probably not the time to do it. Have them go in the beginning of the game. But it's a lot of fun to see the student section. Everyone's lifting up their friends, and it's just cool to be a part of.
It is. And football, of course, a wonderful experience for traditions. Am I allowed to say the Leprechauns have favorite traditions? I don't think so. No, the one I actually love, it's a little unspoken, is the snowball fight on campus. So after the first major snowfall on campus, there's actually a big snowball fight that occurs at midnight that night. And all like little Notre Dame accounts, Andy Barnes, chicks, they'll all like tweet out something saying, "Oh, the snowball fight's tonight." So all the students know, and whatever day it is, it could be a Friday night, could be a Sunday night, like it was this last year. Everybody gets out on South Quad at midnight. They usually line up like North Quarters on one side, South Quarters on the other. And after about 3 minutes, it turns into absolute chaos. But it's just a lot of fun. Like this year, we were blasting music out there at 1 a.m. People brought lightsabers out. We're playing like Duel of the Fates from Star Wars. It was awesome. But just a little like moment where it's like, this isn't even like organized by anybody. This is just something students came up with, and it's stuck. And now it's like such a staple here at Notre Dame. But definitely big proponent for the snowball fight.
Those are fun. I remember the lightsabers coming out. I do. I think for me, definitely also football related. I really love the Midnight Drummer Circle. So Friday nights before the game at midnight, right in front of the main building, right on God Quad, they'll have the drum line come out and they do a whole routine. And definitely is a lot of fun. And you look up and you see the dome, and then you see the basilica is all lit up, and very, very exciting, imagery in my head when I think about it. But and I think we're going to wrap it up with one last question. And again, if you have any more questions that come up later, feel free to message us on Instagram at ND Admissions, and one of us interns will definitely get back to responding to that. But I think we should leave off with, what is one thing you will take with you from Notre Dame when you graduate? We're all juniors right now. We're all kind of registering for our senior classes, and it's kind of hit me in 1 year. From today, I'll be pretty much almost done, which is crazy. So, what is one thing you will take with you?
Ooh, hopefully a degree. But beyond that, kind of another tradition that I really love is at the end of any major sporting event or religious event on campus, everyone puts their arm around each other and sings the alma mater. And I feel like that's just such a beautiful sign of like the Notre Dame community and spirit. And that's something that I hope to take with me, and know I will take with me when I'm done with my 4 years at Notre Dame. Like the people that I've met here, no matter how close I am to them, I know they will be a resource for me for the rest of my life, and I'll be friends the rest of my life, and people that I can turn to. And that's something that I'm really excited to, continue to bring that Notre Dame family with me, even when I'm not on campus.
Yeah, wow. That was a really good one, like right there. I love that one. Man, I feel like I'm gonna look back and cringe at myself for saying this because it's gonna sound so cliche, but I think there's something just different about the people and the mindset that you're gonna take away from Notre Dame. There's another famous, why do I know all these old Notre Dame quotes? There's a quote that says, the 3 rules in life for one of our old Notre Dame coaches was do the right thing, do the best you can, and always show people you care. And here at Notre Dame, I feel like those kind of encompass just what you want to do here. You want to ensure that your actions are having positive impacts on other people, and that they start to impact you in that exact same way. At the end of the day, like you really do start to have this new mindset, this new way of thinking about how you engage with others, this intentionality behind your actions. And one that goes a long way to like making friends, of course. We'll have the Dylan Hall traditions that I know that'll be sticking with me for sure. But just also this mindset of how can I be selfless? How can I care for my neighbor today? And taking that with me into the world, I think that's what Notre Dame is. We were established as a powerful means of doing good in this country. And that's what we hope that our students will be one day. So that's what I at least hope I'll take away from Notre Dame here. And I feel like having good friends like you two or other people on campus, they go a long way towards making that possible.
Yeah, no, I think for me, kind of on the surface level, I have great memories. Not surface level, but abstract. I have great memories. I have great friends. I've traveled the world with Notre Dame, and I've seen so much. But I think on a very personal level, it's really kind of changed the way I think of myself as a student, myself as someone, as an aspiring physician. I think the College of Science is very good at this, viewing healthcare and medicine as a vocation to help people more than just maybe a 9-to-5 job or because you're good at science. And I think viewing my life as And these are all kind of things we talk about in our Moreau class, Moreau first year seminar. My life is kind of divided into my spiritual life, social life, and kind of scholarly academic life. And so it's really important to me, now that I've come to Notre Dame, I've realized it's really important to cater to all three of those aspects of my life. And they all work with each other, and they all need to be supported. And that to me is how I will live a fulfilling life. And I think Notre Dame has really played a big role kind of getting me to that mindset. So anyway, well, we'd love to have you here this afternoon. And for those of y'all that were just admitted, congratulations, and we hope to see you here on campus next year. And if you have any more questions, feel free to write the admissions email or write to the admissions social media, and one of us will get back. But I think on 3 we should do a Go Irish. Are you ready?
We have to.
1, 2, 3. Go Irish!